Good morning, and thank you for being here. I am Bonnie Barnes, one of the co-founders of the Daisy Foundation, and so excited to welcome you all to our breakfast at AONL. What a beautiful, beautiful room. Thank you, Kirby Bates, for setting us up for spring. This is so lovely. Thank you so much. Doesn't it feel great to be talking to people without a Zoom screen in front of you? Oh my gosh, this has just been a breath of fresh air. But as we have watched what all of you have been through over the last 2 years, I have to tell you that all of us at the Daisy Foundation has stood in awe of all of you. To watch the compassion, the courage, the commitment that all of you and your teams have been demonstrating and that we've been reading about through your Daisy Award nominations, it's just been breathtaking. So on behalf of our whole team, please know we have been standing by you and offering just nothing but admiration and affection and gratitude. Nothing but gratitude. And the nominations the nominations we have been reading for the Daisy Award have truly been testimony to the role of professional nurses throughout this crisis. It's been reinforcing of who you all are as people and what you do every day, and these nominations are more powerful than ever. We are blown away by them. Of course, I want to say a great big thank you to our friends at AONL for welcoming us so warmly once again to this year's conference. It is such a pleasure to be back. Our relationship with AONL goes back to 2007. We reached out to AONL when, frankly, it was just Mark and me running the foundation. We had about 180 hospitals we were working with, and we really needed help. And AONL rose to the occasion, and it was Pam Thompson who said, I am going to help you build awareness among nurse leaders of this work, because I think it's that important. AONL was with us first, and boy, are we grateful, because she was so right. You have built awareness of what we do, that's for sure. I often say that AONL put Daisy on the map, so I'd just ask you to please join me in a very warm statement of gratitude to all of you at AONL. So a few exciting things have been going on at Daisy while you've been working ridiculously hard. I'm thrilled to introduce you to someone who doesn't really need any introduction at AONL, and that's our new Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Deb Zimmerman. Five months ago, I got to relinquish my title to her as CEO with so much love and complete confidence that Mark and I share that our Daisy team, with Deb at the helm, is going to take Daisy to the future, continuing to honor nurses wherever you practice, wherever you are in your careers, giving patients and families a way to express their gratitude to you and your team. So thank you, Deb, for joining. I think I saw you come up. Did I see you come up? There she is. She's going to join me on the stage in just a minute. You'll hear from her. So the question we are so often asked is, how many organizations are now partnering with Daisy? Thinking that, we started at 22 years ago at 0. This morning, 5,272 healthcare facilities and nursing schools, not only throughout the United States, of course, but in 32 other countries. You all are part of a truly global community of nurse leaders who believe in recognition and helping your staff and teams understand the impact they're having, and Daisy continues to roll around the world. More than 177,000 nurses are wearing Daisy Award pins. And even more important to us, more than 2.1 million times a patient or a family member or coworker has taken the time to share their gratitude by writing a Daisy nomination. More than 2.1 million times. Just blows us away. So AONL told us they'd help expand our program. No kidding. We're really astounded by the growth and oh so excited about it. And what we're also excited about is that so many have worked on developing the evidence that is really underscoring what meaningful recognition and the Daisy Award are accomplishing for nurses and your organizations. Since we were last together, I thought I just put something up on the screen by accident. Since we were last together, we actually published our book because we felt like we needed to tell the story of how we went from Patrick's bedside to thousands of partners celebrating nurses with us. It's called Shining the Light on All the Right, Celebrating the Art of Nursing Around the World. And if you don't mind the commercial, it is for sale in the bookstore. Thank you, AONL. And we'll be hanging around to sign books if you have anyone that you want us to sign for. So this gathering would not be happening today without our dear friends at Kirby Bates. They have been amazing supporters of our mission. We were just talking about this pretty much from minute 2 from the time we started the foundation. Melissa Fitzpatrick was approached and told what we were going to be doing, and she was all in and has become my dear personal friend. So for Kirby Bates, could have the whole Kirby Bates team to stand up, please, and we can all say thank you to you. And to Marketing Director Lori Anderson. Where are you, Lori? Lori and our team have worked tirelessly to make this happen, and I hope you'll all stop by their booth. I know you went there to pick up your tickets, but please get to spend some time with them. We want you to love them like we do. Well, before I turn you over to Deb, I want to ask our DAISY leadership team to stand, because of course DAISY isn't DAISY without our fantastic team. Melissa Barnes, where are you? Melissa, our Vice President of Operations, many of you know her. Tina Barnes-Caraher, our Vice President of Marketing and Communications. Tina did a fantastic job putting this breakfast together, and I'm oh so grateful. Our co-founder, of course, our 2 beloved daughters-in-law, and Patrick's wife. Thank you for everything you do for us. Karen Cox, are you here? President of Chamberlain University. She serves on our board, as does our beloved Stuart Downs, Director of Critical Care at Northside Hospital. DAISY is what it is because of the commitment and tireless work of our team. We're now 26 people strong at the DAISY Foundation. But I think the true leader of DAISY is my beloved Mark Barnes. He is truly the visionary behind this work. He's the man who keeps us focused, and he's the man who reminds us every single day that we are here to say thank you and recognize nurses who are providing the kind of compassionate care we experienced when our Patrick was in the hospital. Mark, I adore you. So now let me turn you over to Deb to introduce our speakers and talk about what we're doing here today. Deb?
I do have the very best job in the whole wide world, don't I? In February, AONL and the DAISY Foundation launched a call to action entitled Gratitude, a Tribute to Nurse Managers. We did so because of the alarming results uncovered in the Joslin survey of thousands of nurse leaders. At 3 points during the pandemic, nurses were surveyed, and Darrell and Hunter Joslin found that 1 in 3 nurse managers said that they felt emotionally unhealthy, and 37% felt that their work was unrecognized. I know that every single person in this room understands the significance of our nurse managers. They are foundational to our health care. They are the CEOs of our units. They are the recruiters. They are the retention officers. They drive clinical excellence and organizational performance. Just as the DAISY Award fills the soul of our clinical nurses and our direct care clinicians and buffers the impact of burnout, feedback from those that our nurse leaders serve ties to purpose. For our leaders, meaningful recognition comes from those that they serve. Last year, only a few hundred of our 5,000 healthcare partners honored their nurse leaders. We're delighted that many more do so today, But I urge you to go to the website, nursemanagers.org. You're going to find a toolkit. You'll find templates that you can customize for your organization so you too can make sure that you are honoring those frontline leaders and they feel recognized. What we do know is that nurse managers are foundational to healthcare. And now it is time to shine a light on all that is right in nursing leadership. We are going to hear about an extraordinary nurse manager who, throughout the pandemic, has led her team. She practices in a large emergency department. She cares for her team, cares for many who are the rejected and who are underserved in society. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the team from LAC+USC Hospitals in Los Angeles, the Chief Nursing Officer, Nancy Blake, Clinician, Erica Bonilla, and Daisy Nurse Leader Honoree, Margaret Sanfratello, who also is known as Maggie. And I am going to let them take it away and tell their story. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Blake, and I think we might need some daisy tissues up here at on the podium as we tell Maggie's story. So you've heard about our team. I have the honor of being the Chief Nursing Officer at LAC+USC since June of 2021, where I was promoted and moved from Harbor UCLA, which was another large county hospital in LA. And we're going to tell our story of our first Daisy Nurse Leader Award there at LAC+USC. So Tina's going to run my slides, but a little bit about us. We are a 600-bed academic medical center affiliated with USC School of Medicine, and we're looking at possible name change in the future so people know us more as the hospital as opposed to the school. And we're affiliated with many nursing schools in LA, including our own LA County College of Nursing that graduates between 70 and 80 students every 6 months. We're a level 1 trauma center, stroke center, STEMI center, burn center, and a paramedic base station. And we're the largest of 4 county hospitals that really take care of the vulnerable and underserved population. You normally see about 1,200 regular ED visits. We have a regular ED, medical ED, a PEDS ED, a jail ED, and a psych ED. So it's a very busy place. And we also have a jail ward and jail clinics for all of the people that are in the downtown LA jails that have to come for any type of specialty medical care. They come to our hospital. We're also designated as Pediatric Medical and Trauma Center with both a PEDS ICU and NICU. And it's the only jail inpatient in LA County. And there's over 3,000 outstanding nurses and about 5,000 that are in the nursing staff, including nursing attendants, LVNs, and medical assistants. As you can tell, the pandemic was a challenge for us, being in downtown LA, treating a lot of homeless, and with the underserved population, I often say that when I look at their medical issues, their problem list is about 2 pages long. Many of them have diabetes, end-stage renal disease, and it was hit very hard during the pandemic with over 120 ICU beds full during the peak. Managers are a key means of support for their staff, and I've been a nurse for over 4 decades, and I've never seen anything like this. And there were many managers that rose to the occasion. And it was a difficult time for us all, but especially for those managers. And I've always thought, and probably most of us in this room started out as a nurse manager in our career, but I've always thought the nurse manager job was the hardest job on the campus. Because they're often sandwiched between the organizational initiatives and the staff's needs, which many times don't jive. So Daisy has given us an opportunity to give meaningful recognition to nurse leaders. And we made the decision to award our Daisy Nurse Leader Award, and we chose to award it to a nurse manager this year. And we also chose to do it on Bosses Day, so it was uncoupled from Nurses Week, and it was a time that's recognized for, you know, those that are people's bosses. We have a phenomenal Daisy manager, so she really does the Daisy celebrations are a big deal. There's a podium when we go to the different facilities, but this time we were doing a virtual presentation. Joe Tai was our speaker, and we were doing a virtual that we have a YouTube channel that we do our town hall meetings that we were able to stream throughout the facility. So because we were at a time when we couldn't get together, it was a small celebration in the conference room because of social distancing. And we also did invite our Daisy partner to participate and watch the presentation. Our Daisy Award Coordinator and Committee put together a nomination form, and we took most of the items off the Daisy website. I think we probably dropped one just so people understood the difference between the Daisy Nurse Leader Award and the regular Daisy Award, of which we have multiple nominations every month from both patients, staff, and our physicians. And we've decided this year to not only talk about the Daisy Award, but we do something called the Daisy Dose, which is a daily Zoom huddle with the entire facility, including the physicians. And we have a weekly town hall meeting that started with pandemic questions, but we've continued it, and we're going to continue it moving forward on Wednesday morning. And so we also announced the Daisy Award winner. Our Daisy Nurse Leader criteria you've already seen, but we wanted to create an environment that attributes trust, compassion, mutual respect, and continued professional development for our staff, where ethical behavior are modeled and supported. Being accessible, available, and responsive to the needs of their team, and problem solving and encouraging critical thinking. It's an advocate for the team. And last is truly being a compassionate leader. So you'll hear a bit more about our first recipient, Maggie, shortly from one of the staff nurses, Erica, who will read the highlights of the nominations, including her own nomination as one of her staff. We had 12 nominees, or 16. And because we were doing the Joe Tai presentation, we handed out the books, and that's how we got people to take pictures. So that's why they're pointing at the book, because they had no idea they were nominees until right before the ceremony. And Maggie had multiple nominations that reflected a true Daisy Nurse Leader. And we think Maggie is very special. And now I'll turn it over to Erica Bonilla, who will tell you more about her.
Thank you, Dr. Bake. Good morning. What an honor it is to be here. Thank you to Kirby Bates and the Daisy Foundation for giving me this opportunity to honor Maggie, my nurse manager. I began my nursing career in 2008 at Los Angeles County Medical Center, working at the jail unit. That's where I met Maggie. She was one of my go-to coworkers I had so many newbie questions, too many, but she always made me feel very comfortable. She was so welcoming. A lot of times, nurses with experience sometimes are not so nice to the new nurses, but she was very welcoming to me from the beginning. She was one of the handful of the seasoned nurses that I looked up to. I always observed leadership qualities in her. She was always kind, never stressed under pressure. But what I admired the most was that she was a patient advocate. So it was an easy decision for me to follow her to the urgent care in 2017. Since I've known Maggie, she has always been a patient advocate, whether it's been in the jail ward or urgent care. So it was no surprise to see that she was an advocate for her staff. She knows how to make us feel heard. You will not find anyone in our unit that doesn't feel like they can openly express themselves to her. whether it's through text message, emails, in her office, during the staff meeting. Maggie is always there. Maggie always thinks outside the box with her innovative ideas that she puts into action and fruition. She initiated the mobile staff vaccination, where she had her staff go around the floor, even during the night shift, to provide vaccines to the line staff, so they didn't have to wait in the morning for employee health or the vaccine clinic. She also led the COVID discharge unit, which consisted of tents just outside of our observation unit. She always made sure we had everything we needed. She was always there in the morning, first one there. She made sure we always had our oxygen tanks, our pulse oximeters. Any issue we have, we know. We call Maggie and she's there. She sees challenges as an opportunity to be creative, resourceful, and to overcome. Maggie is a giver, one who constantly offers help to everyone, somebody who keeps on giving without expecting anything in return. She is truly an admirable person and leader. When I read the nomination form for the Daisy Nurse Leader Award, I knew instantly I was going to nominate Maggie. She checked all the boxes. It will be easy to make these mental checks as you hear me read the nominations from her staff. A nurse from urgent care wrote, "I would like to nominate Margaret, nurse manager for UCC, SOU, and ED OBS for the Daisy Nurse Leader Award. There are too many instances that she role modeled compassion, but one that stood out is during the COVID surge. We were working late with us. She was working late with us. She would even drive back to the night shift and bring them food. We truly felt we were cared for. Everybody in the UCC is family. We look out for each other because Maggie fostered that rapport within the team. She understands the dynamic of the team. Our registration to discharge flow is important due to changes implemented by the management team, from revising room assignments, changing lunch breaks, which has all contributed to our improved times. She's also very supportive of us trying to make ourselves better. She tries to work with those who are going to school to further school studies. Many of the staff that are pursuing further studies in nursing are still able to balance work, school, and family life. I believe Maggie deserves the Daisy Award, not solely for how she's impacted my life as a nurse, but for how she made coming to work a joy. We go above and beyond for our patients because that is what our manager, Maggie, does for us." Another nurse from Observation Unit wrote, "Margaret works really hard, advocates for us and our patients. Whenever we have questions or suggestions, she is patient with us and looks for answers and solutions if needed. In the past, when we've had emergencies and whenever assistance was needed, she rushed to assist. She also never gets a break from us and has been there 24/7 through phone calls, texts, emails, during night shift, and even while on vacation. In addition to her management duties and overseeing 3 units, she also rolled up her sleeves to assist on the floor and do whatever work needs to be done. During the COVID surge, she would come on her weekends off to check in on the unit and keep us updated on any changes. Maggie is an example of a great leader we should all aspire to be." I kept my nomination short. I was afraid of sounding like I was going to be sucking up to the boss. I didn't know who was going to be reading, so I just thought, I shouldn't write too much. I don't know. I wrote, "Maggie is an amazing manager. She makes our unit feel like we are family. I know I'm not the only person who feels like this. Maggie is more than just our boss. She is our leader, our voice, our confidant, and friend, and much, much more. Maggie is always empathetic to our needs. She will always try to find a way to make things work. I consider myself very lucky to work under her supervision." And I just want to say that don't think you'll ever know how much we appreciate you. I don't know how she does it. I really don't. She has so many people under her, and I bet if we check her phone, she's gonna have probably 20 to 30 text messages from staff. I don't know how she does it. This photo here is from a mud run that we did years ago. You can see we look a little different. A zombie mud run. And we ended up with a rash after that. So needless to say, that was the first and last mud run we will ever do. I'd like to pass it over to Maggie now.
Good morning. Thank you, Erica and Dr. Blake, for your kind words and telling about LAC+USC. I much appreciate it. Thank you also to the Daisy Foundation and Kirby Bates for inviting us today to represent LAC+USC and letting you know about our hospital. I am an honored graduate of the College of Nursing at LAC+USC, and that was 20 plus years ago. And the first day I stepped on the floor to do my clinicals, I knew that was going to be my home. I was in the older hospital, didn't have the new hospital built yet, and lots of stairs, rickety wheelchairs, but I knew that's where I loved the patients. They were so appreciative of everything we did, even as nursing students, getting them up for baths in the morning. So when I applied to work as a nurse at LAC+USC, I chose the jail ward complex, which, yep, that's it. It was a different area. We are locked in. Our patients are chained to the beds. But the patients that we serve were also very appreciative. It's a very special unit. That's where I developed my sense of family, because we're locked in. We can't get out as quickly as everybody else, so you develop good working relationships with your staff and the deputies and the doctors, because we're there for 12 hours a day. I did attend our ER nurse training program, and I had the opportunity to stay in our main ED, but I chose to go back to the jail ward because that's where I felt I could do the best. Oh yes, that's Yui. He's traveled the world. Yui's been, we take Yui on trips when we were in the jail ward so he could take pictures, and he's been to Hawaii, he's been to Mexico, he's been to Italy. And he comes back to the jail every time after his trip. After raising my children, I decided I wanted to pursue more education. I did graduate with an ADN, but I knew it was time to start moving up, so I went back and got my bachelor's and master's. I chose leadership as my degree. I felt I could mentor, and I always been a preceptor. About 4 years in, I went to preceptor training, and I loved precepting new nurses. That was to watch them get their first IV or their first blood draw, or something out of the ordinary happened that excited them. That's some of my staff. Then I decided to become a manager, and so that's a little bit different role. We have an assistant nurse manager role, and that's our supervising staff nurse. I went into coming from an RN2 role, which was preceptorship and PI projects and mentoring. It was time to become an assistant nurse manager. So I took on the urgent care assistant nurse manager role, and my first preceptor was my nurse manager who precepted me as a nurse, so now she was training me to be a manager. It was a 15-year difference, but I couldn't ask for a better preceptor because she was my role model. She was the one that got me up where I needed to be and move to make sure the staff was well taken care of. To this day, I still call her or text her and ask her questions of what she would do if I'm not sure of something. But now we also have Dr. Blake here, and I'm so grateful for her to be here. I see her servant leadership and what she brings to the hospital and to the staff. She puts the staff before everybody else, before the administration. She brings in excellent guest speakers. We had Joe Ty on my ward day for Nursing for Bosses Day, and telling us about the pickle challenge and how to, bring positivity to your unit rather than negativity, because your units are family. They're your work family, and you want to bring them up instead of breaking down. Also, Rose Sherman on her leadership class. I enjoyed sitting on the Zoom. It was a Zoom call we didn't have in person, but I appreciate her leadership and helping leaders strive to do better so they can be better for their staff. There is challenges of being a manager. During COVID, that was probably the worst thing I've ever seen, because a lot of my nurses have children, and a lot of small children, new moms, and having to come to work and going home, and I don't want to get them sick. A lot of them stayed in hotels, and it was just a difficult time for them. They were not sleeping, they were stressed, not eating. None of us ate right, I think. We were just grabbing and going what we could. But we got through it. We're getting through it. We were always there to support each other, and my door was always open. If they could call me at night if they needed to talk about anything to get off their mind that they were upset about from the day, I was always there to try to listen. And I think the other thing is our hospital-wide changes and getting the staff to buy in, because we've gone through so much, and now we're starting to get back into business, and to get buy-in from the staff. So we have to be able to be the cheerleaders of, yes, we are going to do this. We have a new timekeeping system coming in, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm trying to get the staff excited about it, that I don't have to do time cards anymore. They now have a computer. But I think more so of the challenges, the best part of my job is being their boss. I have 97 employees under me, and I couldn't be more proud of them than. They work so hard. They are there. They offer to come in for overtime when they see that we're short. I haven't even asked yet, and they'll look at the assignment and say, do you need me tonight? I'm so proud of my staff that are going back to school, especially my nursing attendants. And I'm very hard on them, because I make them go to the bedside and watch the nurse and see what they're doing, because they haven't had a chance. Watch the nurse, how she does he or she does her assessment, watch their blood draws, watch the NG tube, so you're ahead of the game before you have to start doing it yourself. I do have a lot of brand new nurses. We take a lot of new grads that have, and especially during the pandemic, they had simulations. So I try to put them with my most seasoned nurses that can get them down the road so they have the skill set. But to see the excitement on their face, I got the NG tube in on the first try, or, he had to be on a monitor, and we had to hang this, we had to rush him to CT. It's just that excitement. They want to tell you the whole story, and you're just excited for them as well. And when I ask my staff, why do I have to do something, but what do you need me to do? We had to open up the COVID discharge tents. We opened up the employee vaccine, but we also vaccinated staff in our clinic tower, because our immunization clinic was up the hill and some couldn't make it up there, so we opened up another satellite. So the staff was pulled every day in different locations. When they came in, they didn't know where they were going to be assigned, but they didn't complain, they just did, and that's what makes me so proud of them. We also opened up a procedure clinic to save ER beds from a patient that needs a paracentesis or a thoracentesis. So now they can come in with an appointment rather than having to wait in our ER, which can be very busy and up to a 5 to 6 to 12-hour wait, depending on what day you come in or what time you come in. So the nurses rolled up their sleeves and learned paracentesis and how they can assist the patient. And I think my best day is when we're a short staff and I get to take the charge nurse phone and I get to be out on the floor. It surprises my staff when I'll transport the patient, or, okay, I'm going to give you a break now. And, well, my patient needs an antibiotic. Okay, well, let me have the I still can hang an antibiotic or draw blood. I haven't forgotten. I think they're more worried about their patient than they are me. But I still maintain to get out on the floor and help and, turn a patient, help them clean a patient. Like you've heard that our patients are very neat. They're not needy, but they have needs that, our homeless population is very great in our hospital, and our mental health and our units work very hard to get them to where they need to be to get them the services. I think receiving the Daisy Award, I was shocked, I was humbled. I didn't know my staff had done this. And this is Leslie. She's one of my managers that worked down the hallway. So when they announced that, here I heard, oh, a nurse manager that has 3 areas won the award. I thought, oh my gosh, Leslie won. And the first thing I'm thinking, I'm gonna go to the gift shop and get her some flowers. I'm so excited for her. She has our ortho, radiation oncology, our biggest employee health system she also manages. And then to have, not realizing that I also have 3 areas either. And that's my boss over on the right looking at me going, they just said your name, get up. And to hear Dr. Blake again say my name a second time, so I finally had to get up. And that's getting the award, and Dr. Blake knows how much I was shaking, so she held the award for me. Then Erica, reading the nominations and trying to maintain my composure was very hard, because to hear what my staff was saying about me, you know, that's how I feel about them. They work so hard, they're there. It's a mutual respect and a mutual love for them I have. I do what I do every day because they keep coming back and wanting to do what they do every day. And I mean, on a challenging day, I'll go home and read those nominations. I had kept put them in an album, and just remember that, you know, your staff needs you. Don't give up. You do what you can, the best you can do. You're gonna have bad days, you're gonna make mistakes, but those nominations just really keep me going. It was a great privilege to meet Mark and Bonnie Barnes after receiving my award, and they were so gracious to take a picture, and being in such awe and knowing who they were and what they have done to acknowledge nurses, our registered nurses on the floor that work tirelessly every day. I keep that picture on my bulletin board at work. I made a printout. I'm mad about forgetting my book again today, so I'm going to have to go get another copy and get it signed. But I think the hardest part was, you know, it wasn't hard, it was just, oh, there's Richard. That's my husband of 30 years. And he was being helpful one day, and he realized how delicate the daisy statue is. So Richard didn't say anything. He was dusting and moving things around, dropped the daisy statue. Didn't tell me, but left many voicemails for Tina. Saying, I'm in so much trouble. I don't want to be a patient in the hospital. Can you please return my call? Tina called him back, and he goes, I need it by this artist, and I broke her statue. And you know, I think the guilt finally got him, because he told me, he goes, I need to tell you, I called the Daisy Foundation. They got the statue out within a couple of days, but I think the guilt was getting to him, because he thought maybe I'd figure it out eventually, but I didn't. But again, thank you, and that's Rhea, that's our Magnet and Daisy program director. She's one of the best. I was actually her nurse manager, or assistant nurse manager, for a short time before she became our ANDA, and she taught me a lot as well with staff and, you know, working together as a team. And again, thank you so much for the invitation to be here at the Daisy Breakfast this morning and the opportunity to attend this week's conference with AONL. It's been a great learning experience. I'm enjoying the classes. And then now I'd like to hand the microphone over to Dr. Blake again.
So thank you. Now you understand why Maggie was able to speak to leadership skills and activities you can't learn in any management training. And, you know, Tim Porter O'Grady spoke yesterday. You know, good clinical skills are not correlated to good leadership skills. It's important to mentor and support our nurse managers, as they are the key to the success of our profession by showing authentic leadership and retaining nurses. So now I think I'm turning it over to Bonnie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And neither one of these two have spoken in public before, so they were very nervous.
Thank you for listening to this incredible story, and I have to say that as brilliant as Maggie is, there are so many nurse managers who do what Maggie does, who are who Maggie is, and those are the nurse managers who absolutely need to be receiving the Daisy Nurse Leader Award. So I would like to bring up my dear friend Melissa Fitzpatrick and ask her to close our breakfast today as our wonderful sponsor and such generous supporter for everything that Daisy does.
Good morning, Melissa Fitzpatrick from Kirby Bates. I'm just so thrilled to see so many friends and family here today. First of all, you guys crushed it. You did awesome. I know they were nervous, they're not public speakers, but didn't they do an amazing job? Fabulous, fabulous. Couldn't every single one of you relate to not only Erica's description of her manager, but being in Maggie's position and the incredible work they've done, as have so many of you. At Kirby Bates, you know that we are a team full of nurses and nurse leaders. We are hospital and healthcare executives and serve you every day, and we're so proud to do the work of executive search that we do, helping you find your dream jobs and then helping you build your teams once you get there. So I'm honored to be here with my Kirby Bates family, many of them, and thank you for all that, especially Lori, who put so much of this together with Tina. I'm thrilled to be part of the Barnes family. I have been for almost 20 years, and just so proud to partner with you every day to do this important work. At Kirby Bates, we are thrilled to participate in all of the efforts to celebrate nurse leaders, and we are proud to use our voice and our platform to amplify the recognition of nurse leaders, and in particular, nurse managers. How many of you have been a nurse manager or are a nurse manager? I've had a lot of roles in nursing in 45 years, and the nurse manager role, as Nancy said, I believe is one of the most important, aside from the bedside nurse, I think it is the most difficult role in nursing. And so we really want to use our voice to amplify the role of nurse managers, the important role that they play in our healthcare delivery systems. I think they are the foundation of healthcare delivery. So toward that end, we would like to invite all of you to the Kirby Bates booth 1524, where we would love for you to participate in our project to hear your voice, hear your opinions, gain your insights about the important role that nurse leaders play in our profession and in our industry. So please join us at our booth 1524, and let's get you on camera and celebrating nursing leadership with us. By the way, all of the stuff in front of you is from us with love and with admiration. Please take it with you. We hope we brought a little spring and sunshine to your day-to-day. It's easy to do when you're with Daisy, so please enjoy some of those little things on our behalf. So thank you for joining us for breakfast. Only nurses get up at this time of the day to come do this stuff, so thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Great job, great job.